Hi, my name is Sheila. Welcome. We are going to be looking at one of the sentencing letters of support, character letters, references that was submitted to the court on behalf of Julie Chrisley. And I just don't really think it was helpful at all.
Yeah.
Let's pop on over to that so that we can take a look at it. Now, this particular letter comes from a doctor who, let's just get into it. You see his name there on the top of the page. This is in Exhibit C, all of the letters that were submitted. So if you pull up the file and want to go back and take a look at it, it's there looking like it's on page 43 or something. All right. So it says my name is Dan Hatif, and I'm not sure how to pronounce that. My apologies if I got that wrong. I am a plastic surgeon in Nashville. I did college and medical school in Baltimore, and then the bulk of my training in Dallas and Houston. I have been in practice for 7.5 years here in Nashville, where we moved when I was done with my training in Texas. Okay, so we've got some background information on who this letter is coming from. This letter is a letter of character for Julie Chrisley. I have known Julie as a patient and an acquaintance for about 3 to 4 years. I appeared on their television show twice. We initially met through her daughter, Savannah, who is a friend and patient. Okay, so now we get the nature of the relationship. They haven't known each other very long. Yeah, it sounds more professional than anything. This sounds like a purely professional relationship. I cannot speak to the charges that they are facing because I have purposefully avoided reading anything about it for ethical reasons. I do not want to know anything about gossip and news going on about my patients. Okay, so now here's where I want to stop because he starts out by saying this is a letter of character. It says, I cannot speak to the charges that they're facing because I've purposefully avoided reading anything about it for ethical reasons. I do not want to know anything about gossip or news. Okay, so it sounds like he knows something's going on. He doesn't want to speak to that. Okay, so that is totally fine. Don't speak to that then. I don't think anybody is expecting your character statement to talk specifically about the charges. But take a look at this one paragraph that is supposed to be a whole letter. It says this letter is a letter of character. So there is about one paragraph in here that speaks to her character. Remember, the first part is about him and his training. The second part is stating what this letter is and their professional relationship. The third paragraph says what I'm not going to speak to. And then the fourth paragraph, the next to the last paragraph, is the paragraph that actually speaks to her character. And it is literally 1, 2, 3 sentences. So your letter of character for Julie Chrisley is actually 3 sentences for her. Let me go back to them and let's see exactly what those 3 sentences say. I do know that Julie is a very dedicated, very good mother who spends an inordinate amount of time and energy trying to ensure that her son Grayson, 16, and granddaughter, adopted daughter Chloe, 9, has the most normal life possible. Despite being in the spotlight from a very young age, Savannah is an incredibly grounded young Christian woman who doesn't just talk the talk when it comes to morals, she walks the walk. She always gives credit for her character to her mother and the way that she raised her. I'm sorry, there just is not a lot here. Thank you for having taken the time to read this letter. Please do not hesitate to call or email me if you have any questions. So, let's talk about quantity of letters versus quality of letters. Because if I'm a judge and I get this letter is not going to carry a whole lot of weight for me. He's only known them for 3 to 4 years. It sounds like he's only known them in a professional setting. He doesn't talk about I don't know if he has kids, but he doesn't talk about his kids, spending time with their kids and getting to know them at home and going to baseball games with them, doing things in the church with them, understanding how they volunteer. It doesn't speak to any of that. And so, sometimes there can be this thought process from clients that the more you do, the more letters you provide, the better it looks, because it looks like you have all of these people in your community supporting you and speaking to your good character. That is not necessarily the case. I don't think that this particular letter was helpful to her at all. It hardly spoke to anything. He mostly talked about Savannah and what kind of person Savannah was, and that was somehow based on the guidance and rearing that Julie had provided. But that's it. That's it. And like I said, you've got the paragraphs broken down there, and you have one paragraph, the next to the last paragraph, that supposedly is supposed to be this support and this character reference. I don't see it. I think they could have just left it out. I'm not sure why the attorney or Julie felt the need to include it. And here's the other piece, the other reason I don't think it's helpful. So first of all, there's just not a lot of substance there. Okay. And then second of all, it's from what it looks to be their plastic surgeon. Let me go back and look at this again. It says, I am a plastic surgeon in Nashville. And so that, in the judge's mind, when that's the first thing that you see, it goes back to the celebrity lifestyle, the thing that may have gotten them in trouble. And so this is the person that you bring forward, somebody else who's been part of your support system for living this lifestyle that has gotten you in trouble. So for those two reasons, this is probably a letter they could have just done without. I just don't see the judge giving, looking at this one and saying, you know what, this is the letter that's going to make me give her a non-custodial prison sentence. I don't see it. You guys let me know if you think something different. I just don't. It's just me. I don't see it. So if you're following along and learning a little bit more about sentencing, memos, letters of support, learning a little bit more about this case, and go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, and peace.